I've been involved in studying other religions for my whole life, and I've been teaching world religions my whole adult life. And one of the things that I always tell people is, before we go off and we study and we engage in interfaith, I need to be secure in who I am and the beliefs that I have first. And then once I'm grounded and I'm studying my scriptures and I'm praying and doing all of those things, then rather than trying to have a one-way conversation, because sometimes when we have conversations, what we're doing is we're waiting for the other person to finish so that we can then begin. And that's not the way to have any kind of dialogue. Probably most people, and I've had these conversations myself, I realize they're not interested in what I've got to say, they just want to get their point over. And so when we engage in true dialogue, what we do is we put ourselves out there, but at the same time, we recognize that other people have something valuable to say. Yes, we believe that the church is true and that the gospel contains all truth, but we accept truth, as Joseph Smith said, wherever it comes from. And so as we do that, we have to be prepared to listen. So I can learn about fasting from a Muslim. Sometimes I think in the United Kingdom we get a little bit too hung up on being seen to be Christian, because being Christian and being a Christian myself is great, and I'm very comfortable with who I am, my own beliefs, and that I'm a disciple of Jesus Christ. But if all we ever talk about is, well, you're not Christian or I am Christian, and have that discussion, then the discussion or the debate can't go further. And sometimes it's the very small elephant in the room, and we can't talk about anything else but that elephant. And so sometimes we just need to be able to accept that we hold different positions. I think people learn more about our Christianity through the way that we live and the way that we are. And so it's about the opportunity for those people who perhaps see us as not Christian to interact with us. It's more about practice than about doctrine. But I think that's where we're moving, is that as people see Latter-day Saints as disciples of Jesus Christ and see our Christianity in action, then I think that will overcome any of perhaps the lingering predisposition to see us as non-Christian or outside of the Christian family of churches, whether those are for doctrinal reasons, historical reasons, or spurious reasons, I guess. So I think the biggest thing that could happen in the UK to improve the image or to bring the church out of obscurity in the UK surrounds individuals, essentially. And so if we look back to the United States as an example, there are people who are at the center of every area of public life, whether it was Steve Young, who was a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, or the Osmonds, who obviously transported over here as well. These are people who, because they were quote-unquote normal, it led people to think, oh, actually, I want to learn a little bit more about them. And I have a friend who joined the church in the 1970s because she loved the Osmonds, and she was asked to do a project at school about a religion. And she chose to do it on the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. She's now married, sealed in the temple, has however many grandchildren. So those are great things. But I think it's not about transporting people in to give us a voice. It's about us as Latter-day Saints finding our voice.